Hello, Taiwan! Welcome to Sweden and to Mellersta rstadsskolan. My name is Nina Svensson and I'm the principal.
And my name is Ulrika Virgin, and I am the assistant principal.
We're working on a school with 450 students aged 13 to 16, and the school is situated in the center of the third largest city in Sweden. Approximately 35% of our students have Swedish as a second language. And we will now take you on a short journey through our school and give you our view on organization, teaching and learning. A few years back, I came to a school that wasn't working as a unity and where teaching needed to improve based on research about successful teaching and schools. I organized the school with the aim to be a flat and transparent organization, more like a flow chart, which you can see on the picture, than a hierarchy. I distributed leadership for different processes and areas of responsibility to co-leaders in school. And that means, for example, development of student health and also professional learning communities among the teaching staff. All to make sure that the quality in every area that mattered for our students' learning could be systematically followed up and developed if needed. This makes people feel responsible and engaged in their work.
In every single process, we start with what the students need, which is not just a hunch, but we need to find it out in a systematic way. And that is why we use this green circle from the Swedish National Agency of Education. It illustrates systematic quality work, which is used in all our processes. First, we do an analysis of the current situation, which is based upon data such as grades and surveys, national test results, and interviews. And secondly, we set a goal and a direction of what we have to do in order to achieve the goal, which, for example, could be improve the students' reading comprehension. Then we, of course, have to use the strategies we have set up. And finally, in the fourth and last step, we evaluate and then we analyze to be able to find the best factors for success in every process. And of course, we need to prioritize all the different needs and make a time plan, and then also communicate to everyone involved what is expected of them. And as you can see, we also have a model in the shape of gear wheels to be able to explain the 3 levels of systematic quality work on a more structured process and individual level. Where the small cogs, the individual level, is the most important ones because it is in the classrooms that the magic is supposed to happen. And in order to succeed, we have to adjust the speed on the structural level and also ensure that we have a common thread through all the levels. And to be able to meet the students' needs, we often refer to Helen Timperley's spiral of inquiry that you can see here in the first picture, which means that we examine what the teachers need to develop and enhance in order to be able to meet the needs of their students and facilitate and support their learning processes in a more efficient and enjoyable way.
And some other research we used in our work was, for example, the inspiration from Vivian Robinson's book, but also to be able to get all the staff to work in the same direction. I used John Cotter's 8 steps of leading change. In the way, I took on different steps to get staff that followed the same direction. And one important mean to do so was also communication and also transparency. The inner core of teaching in Swedish schools are to provide excellent teaching and learning in every classroom, which means that you need to do these things to reach a high quality level in these areas. And these areas are to create, to practice and practice joyful learning, to adapt for groups and individuals, to create a secure and calm environment in and outside the classroom, and also to make learning visible and then evaluate, assess, and grade. And to do this, we also used research on successful teaching, as I mentioned before, but also data from our own students and our own classrooms.
And to be able to improve learning and to also promote good learning environment, we have designed our own framework for successful teaching, which, for example, contains guidelines based upon research and proven experience for a varied teaching. Could be clear instructions, how to work with reading and writing strategies in class, how to adapt for certain students and train their different abilities and skills. It could be how to continuously evaluate the teaching together with the students. But the framework also states that every student has its own Chromebook, that the cell phones of the students are collected by the teacher before every class, and that the teacher decides where in the classroom every student is placed from a pedagogical and social perspective. And all the teachers also use a mutual lesson structure. And you can see the lesson structure here in this picture. And the lesson structure is used to encourage self-regulated learning and also to clarify what the students can expect from every class. The lesson structure is digitalized and on the board when the students enter the classroom. It clearly states time and place for the class, and this is to avoid questions about that which could interrupt. And there is also a starting assignment that could connect to the students' prior knowledge of the subject, or it could be something for the students to solve or analyze or talk about. The goals of the specific class are also specified here. For example, today you're going to learn about the photosynthesis and then be able to explain it to your peers with the correct words and terms. And the lesson structure also contains instructions of how the students are going to learn. For example, by listening to the teacher, reading a book, watch a short film describing the photosynthesis, drawing pictures, maybe writing a word list using flashcards, and so on. And finally, the teacher has to evaluate if the students have reached the goals of the lesson or not. And this can be done in a variety of ways. Exit tickets, for example, or writing summaries, talking to a peer, etc. The lesson structure also helps the students to take responsibility of their own learning processes. And the teacher also knows which students that could benefit from extra support and be prepared for that before class. And as you can see, this is teaching and learning in a very systematic way, which you also recognize from the gear wheels previously mentioned.
The Swedish National Agency for Education has determined what teaching quality in Swedish schools are. And that means that the teaching is goal-focused, varied, and contains active support from the teachers. It also means that students are stimulated and challenged based on each individual's needs and conditions. Students are involved in their education and in their own learning processes is also a quality mark. For example, in our classrooms, you can see that we have rules for conduct in school, how to behave towards each other, and so on, and also that the staff needs to be role models. For example, we also are having a lesson in all classes every week where we address questions about, for example, discrimination, grit, and responsibility. We're also working with LGBTQ questions values, gender equality, and so on.
This is a picture of one of our classrooms. And as you can see, the students are sitting in groups of 4 to 6. And the purpose is to enhance cooperative learning, which is a collaborative learning approach involving students working together on activities or learning tasks in a group small enough to ensure that everyone participates. And the students have witnessed about being more active during class now than before, and that everyone is more involved when it comes to speaking and to discussing different topics. It is also a way of building good relations with all peers in your class and an excellent opportunity for the teacher to build professional relations with the students at both group and on an individual level. Jan N. Huge, who is a PhD at the Department of Educational Psychology at Texas A&M University, says that, I quote, "We know enough." And this means that now it is not a question about if relations are important, but how we can apply the research that says it is. And we can see that the following factors are very important for good teacher and student relations and for the students to be able to be successful in the classroom and learn. And first, we have the classroom rules and routines and different activities that can lead to a sense of connection. And the collaborative and cooperative learning is, of course, an example of this. And we also have the classroom rules that they have to leave their cell phones to the teacher. And the teachers are supposed to have high but reasonable expectations of their students' performances and social behavior. And here we can refer to Jim Cummins, who is a professor at Ontario Institute for Studies in Education at the University of Toronto, when he speaks and writes about the zone of proximal development, which means that if you have high expectations on your students, you also need to give them a lot of support, and then they will learn much more than if you have high expectations without support, because then they will fail. And if you have too low expectations, well, then the students will be bored. And the teachers also have to give their students positive feedback or feed forward, more so than critique. And also the students are given guidance to develop both their social and emotional skills. This survey here is an example how to investigate the teacher's professional relations with all the students in a class. All the teachers that are involved in the class, they gather and then they look at every single student to see what type of relationship they have with them. And the goal is to have good relations with everyone and to increase the awareness of students that might have no one to relate or talk to, and to have strategies to include all the students in the inner purple circle. Because as you can see here, there are students which we already have good relations with, and then there are students that we recognize who has non-existent relationships. And then there could be students with a problematic relationships, maybe a lot of argument, and then there could also be neutral relationships. But you're now going to meet a few of our students in grade 9 who's talking about how to build professional relations between teachers and students and why that is so important.
All right, so the way we build good relationships in the school is by communicating and interacting with different type of students. And also we tend to involve every student in some things in some way, in any way.
I think my favorite thing about the school when it comes to building relationships with the teachers is that the teachers sit with you at lunch. Like if you, especially if you don't have any friends in school or in your class, you can sit with your teachers and you can talk about school, or you can just talk about your home life. It's really fun because you can just build relationships in a very casual way.
Yeah, we talk to people that we don't are used to talk to, and that's the way we do it.
Yeah, and also the relationships between the teachers and the students are also kind of close. So yeah.
Because in every lesson you can always like talk after the lesson to the teacher.
Yeah,
if you
and be
don't
open
know.
with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Many times, like for math, for example, I absolutely love math, and the love for mathematics and other subjects in that place has come from my teacher being so engaged in my personal life and giving me advice when I need it, and it can really help with building relationships that are a little bit more mature.
Yes.
So that you understand how to act and how to be when you grow up.
They make it motivating, and they take like stuff that we like to do and like subjects that are interesting and put it in like our education, so it makes like it more fun.
It makes it more interesting, and not only that, but also that it's very effective and an easier way to learn.
Because if you know your teachers on a at least somewhat personal level, it takes away a layer of stress that can sometimes happen in class when you don't really know the teacher.
Because I believe that in parts of the South Asian hemisphere right now, like in Taiwan, there is a very formal level. There's like the kind of authority level to the teachers, and just being on a name-to-name basis, as a first name to first name basis, can make it so that you're maybe more engaged in the classroom.
Because it does help with a level of like authority and like professionality. However, I do think, especially in the lower grades that we are in, it can really help to bond with the students and make them actually care about the subjects and be enthusiastic about it if they know the teacher.
To promoting a collaborative school environment where learning is fun is the most important in our school, because our students need to be lifelong learners. Thank you so much for watching us, and have a very nice day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.